Welcome back, Impactful One. In this video, we're going to be talking about minimalism in business. So stay tuned. Maybe you heard headlines that sounded kind of like this. YouTube is the best channel for growing your business. You have to be on Instagram, otherwise you don't exist. Podcasts increase customer acquisition by 1,000%. These are all of the messages that we are bombarded with as online entrepreneurs. And in our attempt to continue to grow our business, we give in to these messages, believing that they are what will finally allow us to have that big breakthrough. And we come to believe that we must do more, and work harder to get more clients. And of course, that just causes us to work harder and harder to no avail. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why minimalism in business is so important and how being more strategic allows you to actually produce more with less. So let's get into it. We can't really quite get there without first asking this: what is the point of all of this? I love to begin my coaching clients with this question, which is, what is your exit strategy for your business? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to close it down? Are you going to give it to a family member? What does that exit strategy look like? From there, you can start to see and design kind of what that ideal business will be like, right? If you know you're going to sell it, you're going to need to generate a certain amount of profit continually over and over again so that you can show the value of the company, right? If you plan to just close it down, then, and just use it as like how you're going to pay your bills and then close it down when you're done, that's going to be a completely different setup and a different focus. You can also see how handing it down to a family member would require something completely different. You would need to make sure your family members are able to take care of that, make sure they're trained and have those skills that you are going to want them to have while they're running the business, and that systems and processes are streamlined. Versus if you're selling it, you would be streamlining those processes and making sure that the business is able to run completely 100% without you. So again, we have to begin with the end in mind. And from there, we're able to start to create that intentional plan, which allows us to break free from the more hustle mentality, which is often rooted in not enoughness and needing to prove something or needing to accomplish something to feel a certain way, when again, it allows you to choose on purpose what you want for your business. Minimalism in business means choosing on purpose what your business will look like. This means choosing your customer success journey so that you are using the platforms and the way that you want to nurture that customer throughout their sales process on purpose. It means choosing on purpose how big your team will be and how much they will have to, do on a regular basis to cover that customer success journey. It also means choosing your hours on purpose and what boundaries you have around those hours. Are you only going to work Monday through Friday? Are you only going to work 3 days a week? Or are you only going to work during nap times and bedtimes? All of those are 100% your choice. And it's important that we choose those intentionally ahead of time before we go out and build something that we are attached at the hip to, being drawn to 24/7. It also means challenging yourself to be more effective rather than to just add more. When we are intentionally choosing to do less, we have to be more effective in those things we're choosing. Or I should say, we get to be more effective because our energy is going to effectiveness rather than to learning something new. A few years ago, I worked with a coach who had me adding more. And I shared exactly what happened and what the breakdown was there in a blog post. So I'm going to link to it below in the video description. And it's called "This is What Happened When I Applied the Worst Business Advice." So go enjoy that blog post after you're done watching this video. In the meantime, let's continue on. Running a minimalistic business works super well because it allows you to do more reps. So here's what I mean by that. Think about how many reps you can do if you're holding a 2-pound dumbbell and you're doing this, okay? Versus if you're holding a 20-pound dumbbell and you're doing bicep curls, right? How many more bicep curls will you be able to do with 2 pounds versus 20? That is the secret reason that running a minimalistic business works so well, because you have so much less to manage. Therefore, you're able to run more reps. That means you're able to get more people through your sales process and ultimately get more sales. Using this analogy, you can see why it is absolutely critical to nail down your customer success journey so that it is the most streamlined and minimal as possible, because it will allow you to get more people through that customer success journey and ultimately land more clients at the end. Now, you may be wondering, what is a customer success journey and how do I apply that to my business? I want to use that. So to do that, you will want to use a framework that I developed. It's called the Scale Up Framework. And you can get it at impactdrivenentrepreneur.com/scale-up-strategy. And I'm going to link to that in the video description below. But basically, it walks you through setting up this framework in your business so you can run a very tight ship in your business. Next, minimalism does not mean it's easier, okay? If it's simple, it does not mean it's easy. Now, let's explain why that is true, okay? Easier is an extremely subjective term. I'm going to give you the same thing and prove why it's harder and then prove why it's easier. Your brain is giving you reasons why something is hard or why something is easy, okay? Now just notice what your brain tends to say to you, right? Like if we're pretending it's something completely different, our thoughts are not part of us. What are our thoughts telling us, okay? That is very important, because if we perceive something to be super hard, we are less likely to do it. We are still primal mammals at the end of the day, even if we have trained ourselves to love hard things and do hard things. So the question, okay, so let's talk about these two things, or this same thing seen in two ways. Now, let's look at running a business and compare it to manual labor. So in one facet, you could say, okay, manual labor running a business is easier than manual labor because it's less physically demanding, okay? And that would cause you to judge it as easier, right? However, if we compare manual labor to running a business and we judge it by how mentally difficult it is, right? In terms of keeping track of 20 things at the same time and like all of those like planning and executing skills and things like getting ahead of time, planning and thinking ahead and making sure we're dodging bullets as we go. Like it is much more mentally challenging. And so again, this just shows you, this illustrates that having something, whether something is hard or easy, is 1000% dependent on your perspective and what is the measuring stick you are using to judge it. So I don't want you to try to make a minimalistic business based on the premise that you think it will be easier. Instead, I want you to decide on purpose what you will think of as easy and what you will think of as difficult, and then choose how you want to see your business based on you. What do you want your business to feel like? All right, a minimalist business helps you to be more effective. When you pare down your business to only the essentials, you're not distracting by doing more things to get the result. This allows you to focus on increasing the skill set until you get that desired result using the strategy you already put in place. This is huge because it actually allows you to grow exponentially and to grow in an area that is 100% without a doubt the most useful, and that is your skill set versus just acquiring knowledge. You're acquiring skills. All right. In addition, having less to be distracted in allows you a lot of opportunity for dealing with some of the personal growth issues, if you will, that come up when we fall into these band-aid fixes, such as adding more work and hustle. Right? So, for example, when I started paring down my business to only the essentials, I noticed how much I was relying on my business to fulfill me in terms of my own personal creativity and joy. And what I realized is that I needed those things to come from a different place. That's when I started leaning more into dog training and art, in those hobbies, to give me that fulfillment in my life, which was so huge. Now, if you're ready to streamline your business and run a more minimalistic business, then download your Scale Up Strategy template to get started building your business more intentionally. Go to impactdrivenentrepreneur.com/scaleupstrategy or click on the link in the video description below. In summary, running a minimalistic business is about doing less more intentionally and getting exponentially greater results as a result of doing less. So, if that is up your alley, then you want to consider adding these strategies to your business so that you can grow in a more intentional way. No matter where you're watching from, remember that you are capable, you are strong, you are here to make a difference. So go out there today and do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Lots of love.